as soon as we received word that we would be feeling the effects of some sort of system, even before it properly organized itself into a tropical storm, the NEOC was in operations. And I also want to thank everyone associated with the NEOC. Many of them are still here. The NEOC is still activated, so they will be sleep deprived. As at 8 o'clock, we only had 63 reports at the NEOC. 24 were fallen trees, 7 related to utility poles, 9 reports of power outages, and 9 reports of damage to houses, and 8 reports of flooding across the island. All agencies for rehabilitation works have been informed and have been advised, and teams are currently assessing the situation. Officials from the Urban Development Commissioner on the road, officials from the Ministry of Transport and Works. In fact, the Minister of Transport and Works himself is on the road. As we speak, he is actually heading into the Bridgetown area, Murphy's Pasture, New Orleans, etc., along with the Acting Minister of the Environment, who has responsibility for the drainage, that's Senator Janet Inks. And they're going to assess that particular community, or those communities, because even as far away as Deacons and Headleys and so on, there are some drainage considerations down there, and communities that are particularly susceptible to flooding. As you know, we had, in some cases, as much as 6 inches of rain in a very short period of time. So we are currently engaging in that effort. I also would have to be thankful that so far, the reports that we have suggest no injuries and no loss of life, and that again is something we are quite thankful for. Events of this nature all too often sometimes see tragedy reaching households, and mercifully we have not had that to deal with. A damaged roof can always be repaired, but of course a life cannot be replaced, and that we are again genuinely thankful that we can report that situation as of this morning. As far as the country is concerned, Barbados is back to a place of normalcy. All roadways are clear. The airport is operating, has been operating since 8 o'clock this morning. The seaport, cargo was discharged as early as 8 o'clock this morning. Operations are normal there. And indeed, businesses and government departments should be all back out to work. The exception, and I think we would all understand why, would be our schools. They will remain closed today. So all daycare nurseries, daycare centers and nurseries, primary and secondary schools, the Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic, the Barbados Community College, and the Erdiston Teachers Training College will remain closed today. The other thing we can report on is that most of the public shelters have been closed, and shelter wardens, of course, will remain on standby in the event that there's a need for the services to be once again activated. Hillby's, Turner's Hall, and Lester Vaughan remained open during the night with occupants. We had only 4 occupants island-wide for shelters, so even the need for shelters, of course, was minimal, and we are glad that has been the case. The Transport Board has gradually resumed its services starting at 7:30 this morning, and it is anticipated that they will be fully operational by noon. The Health Services has reported that the 511 number, 511 number for the ambulance service is once again operational, and all polyclinics expect to resume normal service at 12 today. I think you would appreciate that emphasis will be placed on urgent cases. QEH, Psychiatric and General Hospital, all of our hospitals have resumed normal operations as well. The Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association has been in contact with its shareholders, its stakeholders, the various members, and our visitors are all comfortable. the issue of water to the West Coast has been sorted, and even though the pressure is a bit low, at least again normalcy has returned to the hotel sector, so our visitors are also comfortable. And again, we will continue to monitor that situation, but I think it's important to note that. So I again want to assure the public that the NEOC remains active and will continue to receive and process the reports as they come in. The decisions relating, for example, to closing businesses and closing schools was in the interest of public safety. And by way of information for members of the public, it is not done on a whim. There is a committee composed of private sector, public sector individuals who work through the night and who assess based on the meteorological reports, and we do these things in the interest of public safety. Once again, we want to continue to monitor the situation. In the fullness of time, there will be some further reports. I know that, for example, people like to have some idea of the value of the damage, where these are still early times, and the damage assessment surveys and so will be done. And rather than give any figure that is too vague, we need to properly assess exactly how our infrastructure has been impacted, how the various houses have been impacted, the business places, and then we can speak to those issues from a more definitive perspective. So once again, thank you all.